Shambho, Mahadev, Mahadev. We were discussing about the Pratishtha of Jnana Murti. That is in the mana for meditation, for tapasya, from where all the reflections of this Veda Jnanam comes, instead of identifying them as each by name, is that the Mahaguru, Mahatapasvi, Mahajnani, incarnation of the Lord himself, Bhagavan Sanat Kumara, advised Devarshi Narada. Even though Narada, he knew, Narada chants, remembers always Narayana Nama, he said there should be, every name should be, pratishtita in that akara, in that rupa, that which you have done the pratishtha in your mind, in your mana, not the mind, as we think, it is the inner consciousness. So the pratishtha in the inner consciousness has to be there. As I have told many times earlier, based on the Shastras and Vedas, Vedic science, based on the science, that each individual has their own methods and their own freedom to select the path each one wants. Like in the body, there are number of cells. With number of cells only which is constructed, the body has been constructed. Each cell has an independent capacity to function as it wants. That is why a group of cells, they don't function properly, one falls ill. Another group of cells functions better to improves. Similarly, in the universe also, as I told you in the beginning, each and every Paramanu has got its own freedom to move on its own axis, on its own methodology. It's a great principle which is connected with Dharma. That's called Dharma. That's Swadharma. That's called Sanatana Dharma. But as Bhagavan said in the Vedic science, even though everyone has got their own Swadharma, it should not be contradictory to the Sanatana Dharma. It should be in accordance with the Swadharma, should be in accordance with the Sanatana Dharma. It is not out of the purview of the Sanatana Dharma, because Dharma itself comes as the Sanatana Dharma. Prakriti Niyamam. That's what we have explained about the Dharmam. I think in 2-3 classes before also I said, I think if I remember correct, Dharmam is a great chapter again. So each and every individual has got his own Dharma, but his own Dharma should not be contradictory to Sanatana Dharma, it should be complementary to Sanatana Dharma. When he decides and knows that it is not contradictory, then only he can function. Dharmically in accordance with the Sanatana Dharma. Otherwise he will be contradicting the Sanatana Dharma even though he is executing his Dharma. Bhishma had been accepting, according to his principle of vow that he has taken. It can be, story can be anything. To keep up his the words to the father, or to respect his father, he promised, he took a vow. Not just like that. With the witness of Ashtadik Palakas. The witness is who? No escape. No. Ashtadik Palakas. So he did a promise. And only to have that promise maintained, only one thing, because the promise should be such, it should be, as I told you, it should be connected with the dharma. Even though it is his dharma, it should not be contradictory to Sanatana Dharma. But what he did was, the Swadharma has been taken as a Sanatana Dharma. He violated all the rules after that of the Sanatana Dharma. To the extent that he sided with the Adharmam, to the extent he witnessed the Draupadi, the Vastrakshepa, without indiscriminately, and when Draupadi asked him that, hey, Pitamaha, why this Adharma in your presence, being a great personality? He said, now, there is a sentence in Sanskrit. I just tell you the meaning. Dharma cannot be interpreted as you are saying. Is that what he has told in the Sabha? Well, forget about that. Otherwise, no, that dharma. So what I am saying is that each individual like that has got a dharma. The dharma should not be contradictory to Sanatana Dharma. And this is possible only when you do the Nishkama Karma. Otherwise you will think adharma as dharma and execute thinking it as dharma. That should not happen. So when you do the Pratishtha, so Bhagavan says here, hey Narada, you have got a right to have the dharma. But here it is contradictory to the Sanatana Dharma. Why? Because your knowledge you are naming as this. Knowledge doesn't have a name. But you have identified them as the smaller particles of the knowledge, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and etc. Every individual, as I said, every individual has a right, has freedom to choose his or her own path. But the path should be leading to Brahman. Not that you have got a freedom to choose a path, means you choose a path towards the downtrodden and to destruction. No. Everyone has a freedom. Every individual, depending upon their previous karmas and their karma phalas, by execution of these karmas with nishkama karma, maintaining the dharma based on the principles of the Sanatana Dharma, in compliance with that, he should lead his path. That one should know. For that knowledge is required. Jnanam is necessary. Otherwise it is not possible. So everyone has got a freedom. But what happens when freedom or right comes? Everyone has got, that is why it is known as Swadharmam. There is a word, Swadharmam. Vedas have prescribed it. Because each and every individual has got, each and every individual has a separate karma phala. Every jivatma has a different karma phala. To execute that karma phala, observing those activities to fulfill that karma phala, based on the Swadharma, which is again complementary and connected in accordance with the Sanatana Dharma. When it is deviated from that path, it becomes adharma. You deviate from that path, it becomes adharma. So, for every jiva, the various stages of life has been given. Infancy, childhood, infancy, as soon as they're born. The Balya Avastha, then the Kaumara Avastha, then the Vardhakya Avastha, etc. In this time, in this samay, in this period of time, why various stages have been given to life, why various stages have been given to the mana to progress, why various stages have been given for the sharira to grow, mana to grow, it's all for experiencing it. So initially, in the Balyavastha, that is why education is done in the Balyavastha. No, initially, as soon as they are born, they should not be put to work. No. Do some job and earn money, like children are earning money. They are not supposed to do that. According to Dharmam, they are supposed to learn. Why? Because the jnanam is the basis of all this, what is going to lead his life throughout till the time of his sannyasa. So for that, acquiring of the jnanam is required. So while doing the acquiring of the jnanam, see, when is it done? In the Kaumara Avastha. There only the education is done. And during that period of time, you can have lot of choices. Like when you are studying, you can choose mathematics or science or arts or commerce, any subject you are interested in, you can choose. Not once you start your execution of karmas, that's not possible. Based on that only, you should be executing the karma. Am I right? Yes. That's the practical way of doing it actually. Same thing has to be applied in our life also. It is not only while studying in the school. So the choice is different. So what you will do for first up to primary school and then secondary school up to class 10 and all that, why the niyama of that all the subjects have to be studied up to class 10? Is it not the rule? Many people ask why. In some other countries, from the childhood itself, they can be separated in different subjects from primary itself. Right? But Bharata, our culture, from the ancient time, that is not permitted. Why? Because that is the time when the child has to select. See, how to select without knowing? So he has to study everything. And basic knowledge of everything has to be there, so that when you apply some knowledge of particular item, particular subject of that, that subject is not independent of all other subjects, but it is complementary to all other subjects. In mathematics, there is science. In mathematics, there is commerce. In mathematics, there is history. In mathematics, there is XYZ. Same way, it is applicable to others also. None of them, no vidya is independent by itself. Am I right? When you correlate with that, you see that. So, education in the initial stages of life, Balyavastha in the sense, in the initial stages of life, initial stages of when you start living your career, when you start living your life, you have an option. Yes? You have an option of this switching over to one from the other. Yes? Are you getting it? In the similar manner, our dharma of living is only for attainment of liberation. What is the purpose of life? Why are you born? Only one purpose. To get liberation from all this. Janana Marana cycle, out of the cycle of this Janana Marana. Not getting entangled with it and again coming back. The purpose of life. That's the only purpose of life. That's why it is known as the life. The life is the one which you are living. Yes. For what? To maintain it as a life. The life doesn't have any of these experiences what you are thinking that you are gaining. No, that is living. The life is without any of these experiences or including of everything. Either of this or both. In the life form, nothing is there. In the living, everything is there. So you are living in order to maintain the life form I am talking about. Atma, Jiva, Atma. Jiva is meant for Atma. That's why it is known as the Jivatma. So in the beginning of your career of the spiritual practices, as a brahmachari, that is why even in sannyasa there are stages. Guru, as soon as he comes, he will come as a student. He will be asked to learn the chanting. Then he will be asked to remember the Vedas. Then he asks the principles. Then the Tattva Shastra, Jnana Shastra, Tapasya Shastra, or the Shastras. Or if it is Astra Vidya for Rajas and Rajakumaras, for them it is Astra along with Shastra. So Shastra Vidyas is incorporated during that period of time. So sometimes like one Rajakumara might not be interested in the Shastra Vidya, but he learns Shastra also along with it. He finds, I will not go, even though I learned the archery, but that is not my line of it. Including Vibhishana has done it. It's not, even though Asura Raja, even Vibhishana said, that is not mine. I know how to fight. I know all the Vidyas. I will learn it. But that is not mine. No? What is mine? Mine is that puja. That. He selected it. No? Whereas his own brother, even though a great jnani, Vibhishana is nowhere near Ravana. Tapasvi, great jnani. And a great jnani, with all the jnanas in him, decided to be an ajnani. Right? You got it. So what happens? It can be the previous life's karma phala, it can be present karma, or it may be whatever it is. But with all that, that's not an excuse. But with all that, why did he take a birth? Ravana took a birth. Why did we are all taken a birth? Same reason. Ravana also took a birth in order to come out of his, that curse was there on him. To come out of that curse. That means to execute his karmas in dharmic way. He has to choose his path there. Same way, each and every Jivatma in the beginning, even though you get many paths in front of you, fine. Try. If you do not know, try. But after the Kaumara is over, when the time starts for execution of karmas, the learning process is finished, or the duration for time for the time, samaya, kala, when it is finished, at a point of time, you have to decide which way you will go. Is it not? The ones, that is the wisdom. That is how it has to be done. The one who doesn't do it, he keeps on trying to choose throughout the life. He doesn't find a way. He remains in the same status of one person who is just a beginner. Is it not? The one he keeps on trying to understand. In spiritual path also, Maharshi Sanat Kumara says that, hey Narada, at a point of time, that means when you have come here, when you have come here, you have to have the pratishtha of that murti in you. You should know which murti has to be, you have to do the pratishtha. You cannot be keeping on changing in morning meditation one pratishtha and evening pratishtha something else, afternoon pratishtha something else, and next day something else. What will happen? You will have diversified, that duality will remain, that ekatvam, ekagrata and ananyata will not come. It will always be divided into various processes. So you have to decide to go in one path. Try initially, for all of us also, for every individual for that matter, in life, initial part of life, when you are learning, that means when you start learning, when the day when you decided to go in the spiritual path. Now we are talking about the spirituality here, so I will mention here the spirituality. From the day you have started to walk in the path of spirituality, if you have decided, then you have to choose. No, that is why find out, okay, which shastra, whether I have to go by karma yoga, whether it is go by dhyana marga or jnana marga or sannyasa marga, which marga should you choose depending upon your capability, your previous karma phalas and previous jnanas, the liking will automatically come. Like for each disciple, you see, different gurus, as I told you, will be there. It's not that gurus are teaching different subjects, no. Gurus are teaching the same subject. Whether it is Bhagavan Shiv or Bhagavan Vishnu or Brahma, they are all telling the same thing. Can it be different? No. Even though they are Tridevatas, they have separate identities, they have separate functions to do, doesn't mean they are not functioning contradictory to each other. Each one is complementary to each other. Why? Because the Tattva Jnanam is only one. Jnanam is only one. Brahman is only one. So there cannot be different teachings. If somebody says there are different teachings, I am teaching different from others, then it is absolutely wrong. But only thing what happens? Each has got a method depending upon from where to begin and how to be leading the others. Depending upon their own karma phalas, they get associated with their previous life's guru. The guru is only one. You know that? You may take number of lives. Incarnated one who doesn't have a rebirth. Who doesn't have a rebirth means who doesn't have a death also. Who doesn't have a rebirth or a redeath. He remains same. So not? The disciples who are not completed his karmas, what happens? They go into the circulation of rebirth and death. Any number of times you be born and die, in presence of you, who is there? Your guru only will be there. Is it not? Are you getting it? Because in that cycle only you are going. In a different cycle, probably there is another guru for that group of disciples. Their methodology is in a different stage. But the gurus are all in the same, right? Disciples are in different stage. Are you getting it? That is why that Prashna Upanishad has told, explained about the 6 chapters in different ways. I am repeating it number of times. Last time also I told this. That initially the disciples saw him as Rishi Vipalada, and the end of the explanations are completed, saw him as Brahman himself. What does it mean? The same disciple, at a different stage could see Guru as different. But whereas the Guru is concerned, he was the same. It was only the disciple's perception that he is Rishi Vipalada or he is Brahman. That's all. Perception has changed. Why? Because the Jnanam has incorporated in his consciousness. The time at the Samaya when the Jnanam incorporates, he identifies there are no Gurus separate. There is only one Guru. Then what do you call that so-and-so, 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 so-and-so? They're all reflections of the Guru. Reflections of the Jnanamurti. That's all. Jnanam is one. How can be there? Just logic. Jnanam is one. How can there be different murtis for the same Jnanam? Murtis are not statues I'm talking. Murta means, Murtam is what?
Reflection.
The representation, not reflection, representation. Right word is representation. Reflection doesn't have certain things there. The consciousness is missing there, only the akara is there. Representation is the right word, no? So say, it looks to be different. Why? Because depending upon the status of this disciple, they look to be different. So what happens? What is the intention of Maharishi Bhagwan Sanat Kumara's intentions to express this particular knowledge, according to me, particular knowledge to the Maharishi Devrishi Narada? Hey Devrishi Narada, you might have undergone all these studies. You have got all these knowledges. You must have had your own, or you must be having your own what is that? Ishta Devata or Guru. No, so and so, so and so. But what happens? When you have attained a time that ultimately, even though, what is here? As far as Maharishi Narada is concerned, here's an example of Narada, that's all. Why they have picked it like this is that even Narada, that means the man who is the maximum knowledgeable person, also had the doubt. So at that time, what is the situation? Is that what is explained? That means the last tip of it. So Sanat Kumara explains to Maharishi Devrishi Narada, hey Bhagavan, Devrishi Narada, that even though you had all that, what happened? Now the time has come, the pratishtha has to be changed. Because you have come to me asking for the knowledge of the peace and removal of sorrow from you. Even though you have all this knowledge. That means all these knowledges could not provide you with the facility of removing the knowledge and providing the peace. That means, what is the use of the knowledge that what you have got? Is an indirect question to him. It's not. Unless this is removed, it's not possible. So this is not for him, Devrishi, it is for us. As an example, Devrishi has been projected here. Because even the greatest man who thinks that I'm the maximum learned, no, when he has a problem, whomever he goes, he has to have the pratishtha in him. So what happened? You have to, no, in the sense, there is no question of, in spirituality there is no you have to. There is no forceful applications in spirituality. It is willful application in spirituality. No? Yes, this is how it is to be understood. So the willful application has to be there. The willful application is that when you are whichever is higher should be the pratishtha. Okay? Whichever is higher should be the pratishtha. I mean, I'm just telling in the material language higher. Okay? That means whichever is absolute should be the pratishtha. That means from which you are getting the absolute should be the pratishtha. So as far as Maharishi Devrishi Narada is concerned, Sanat Kumara is the one who is giving him the ultimate jnanam. So hey Maharishi Devrishi Narada, you have to have the pratishtha of me in your mind, so that from which the reflection of the jnanam will be projected, everything. Me in the sense what? Again, if you have, then he said only me. Now depending upon the status of Narada, till the time he learns that he will, the pratishtha that what he has done will see or will be seen as Maharishi Narada, Maharishi Sanat Kumara or Bhagavan Sanat Kumara, and gradually after learning this, and then when he does the tapasya on him, when all the reflections of the complete jnanam starts flowing from him and merging in him, both happens there. No? What's happening? Through that. That what is renounced is merged with the knowledge. In our tapasya, in our meditation, what happens? That what is renounced, where is it going, as I always said? It is not evaporated going somewhere else. It is diluted in the knowledge. Am I right? Where it will go otherwise? There is nowhere to go. It is diluted in the knowledge because everything is in the knowledge. Even ajnanam is in the jnanam. So the ajnanam will be getting diluted to jnanam. So the ajnanam, we call it as ajnanam is removed. Ajnanam disappears into jnanam, disintegrates into jnanam. Same way, that which is renounced disintegrates into the jnanam. Same way, that what you got the pratishtha in your mind, or that done before the tapasya or the meditation, that after the jnanam is concerned, what happened? Constant concentration only on that pratishtha, from where all the jnanam comes and all the jnanam ends. Ultimately, the jnanam gets diluted into that pratishtha, and that becomes the jnani, that means who owns all the jnanam, and at a point of time when that comes, what happens? That pratishtha also gets vanished into the Brahman, because that is a Brahman. Like beginning of this lessons, Maharishi Pippalada, and end of the lessons is Brahman. Beginning of the pratishtha is the Guru Rupam, or whichever whoever is your Guru. It is absolutely necessary. Why? Because it's a Guru who gives the knowledge, who is the embodiment of knowledge. The right representation will be that. So there should not be any mind or any other impacts of your indriyas or your thoughts or any form of diverse those instruments which helps you in diversifying you from your ekagrita, ekachitta. No, that is the what is it? In the ekagrita, in one in that ekachitta, in the Okay. In that oneness, that which is making you deviate from that has to be eliminated. Suppose you have got 5 gurus. Which jnanam will go into which guru? And which will be the ultimate pratishtha in you? And where you will merge? So you and the 5 gurus remain as it is. If there is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, they remain as three Vidyas only. At a point of time, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara all are one. Jnanam is one. That is why the Puranas have very intelligently, very nicely, so that the common people should not get a complex on that. Even then people have divided themselves as Shaivite and Vaishnavite. Let me talk only about Hinduism because we are talking about that. Let me not talk about the other religions because it is not worth it. So there itself is Shaivite and Vaishnavites are there. They divided it. Whereas in the Puranas I have told, whenever you read the Shiva Purana, he will say that my Ishta Devata is Vishnu. Vishnu will say, my Ishta Devata is Shiva. Brahma will say, I have born in the lotus of the, came out of the Nabhi of Mahavishnu. But I pray to Jnanamurti Shiva, except Lord Shiva, nothing can be done. What happens? You get confused now. Who is praying to whom? What does it mean actually? No one is different. They are all same. So, this concept of dividend or division should be avoided while one is reading Purana is why they have specifically incorporated this illusionary method of the Ishta Devata to Shiva, Ishta Devata to Vishnu. Is not. It's only to make people come out of their confusion of that, oh, he is more powerful, he is less powerful, or he is this, he is that. No, nothing. That should not happen is why this sort of arrangement has been, this Vedavyasa very, very intelligently has incorporated this inside that, so that common people can understand it. So now what happens? When you have got diversified activities, when you have got divisions of the Rupa, when you have divided characteristics in front of you, difficult. Acha. You all have got to temples? You call it as one is Vishnu temple, is it not? In Vishnu temple there is only Vishnu. According to temple niyama, is it there only Vishnu there?
No.
Huh?
Yeah,
All the devatas are there. So they called it as the devata and upadevatas they called it. What is it? Upadevatas. Vinayaka should be there as soon as you enter. Without his permission, nobody can enter. Vinayaka should be there. In Shiva temple there has to be Vishnu. In Vishnu temple there has to be Shiva temple. There has to be Devi. There has to be all others. Depending upon the place and the rituals and the belief, the Upadevatas are Pratishtha is there. Upadevatas Pratishtha is there. They are all Upadevatas. It's not to complicate you. What you happen? What you do, as soon as you enter, you have to say, Prathama Pujya is Vinayaka. You have to take his permission. So you do the puja. You go to another temple, then you go to the main entrance and go. And when you come out, you come through some other also have to be done. Certain formalities are there in Pradakshina. They are Upadevatas. Upadevatas in the sense what? Asana, Upa-asana. What is Upasana? Upa-asana. Connected with the asana. Upadevata. connected with the Devata. They are only different Shaktis of the same Devata. That's all. Is why it is known as Upa Devata. Devata is what? Devata is the guna in you. Upa Devata is that which is projected from the Devata, gunas from you, different varieties. Like you are a good person, Devata. What's that identity? He is a good person. Okay? Now it's a common word, no, good person. Devata. Now, what is good in him? He is educated, he is well behaved, he speaks the truth, he behaves properly, he is this, he is that. What is that? Upadevatas. These Upadevatas put together, he is a good person. Devata. Am I right? Have you got the meaning of Devata and Upadevata? This is exactly it is. Easy to understand, no? Some of the temples there are also in timings, Madhyanam, like 12 in the afternoon or mid-afternoon, midnight and all, you should not go because there will be there are small stones provided on the around that. What is that known as? They are all Dikpalagas. So you are not supposed to go in a temple in the mid-afternoon after the afternoon puja is over and the door is closed. You should not go inside there. After the Ratri puja is over, midnight nobody should go to temple. There's a rule in the temple, niyama is there. And they say that if you go there, the Dikpalagas will not allow you to go in. You will have problem. Vaishachika activities will be there. Where? In the Devata temple. What does it mean? That means it's nothing other than what you know, to be understood properly. When Devata's door is closed, Asura will remain there. You're not supposed to sleep in the temple, you know that. Nobody is allowed to go, at least there, inside the temple premises, where the main temple premises, inside. Nobody is supposed to sleep. One is that inside the temple the Devata will be there. So one can get scared. Outside the temple, the Devaganas will be there. These are known as Devaganas. Devaganas, you know that, where do they, there are stones, I don't know, if you're conversant with the temple then you will know. Around the temple you will find at every corner and the middle, suppose one side is there, both the corners and the middle, depending upon the distance, 1 or 2, like that 4 or 5 or 3. This is the count. According to this, these Devaganas will be there. When the puja is finished in the sanctum sanctorum, the person will come outside the temple and will do puja to all the ganas. Once it is done, with a lamb, one will walk, and one with the melam, and one with the pujari. He will do the puja for all the ganas. They will do puja and they clean it and go. Finished. Then the temple is closed. These are Devaganas. Devaganas are to protect the Devata. So in us also, what is the meaning of it all? Same thing. In us we have got the gunas, Devata in us. To protect these Devatas, we have to have Devagunas, or the ganas are there. These Devaganas are our Jnana Indriyas. With the Jnanam in the Indriyas, the Devata in us have to be protected. That means all the capabilities and characteristics and the emotions and the mental, physical functions have been provided to you in the form of ganas in order to protect the Devata in you. That means all your activities, even if it is a war, fighting. Bhagavan Krishna was instrumental to fight a war in Mahabharata Yuddha. And even a fighting of a war, or you're protecting yourself, or safeguarding yourself, or you are promoting something, everything is done by the jnanendriyas. These jnanendriyas are the devaganas. If these jnanendriyas, if they function only to protect the devata, not the others, that means to function for the inner self of you, is why this is known as the devatas. So once the puja, that means the consciousness is aware that this is what I am supposed to do, and the ganas should be aware of it. So puja to the ganas should be done. That means puja to the indriyas and jnanendriyas have to be done. Puja in the sense, your dhyanam should be there in that, so that they should be cleansed. What does it mean, puja? Cleansed, so that they will be the protector of the you, not for the activities of external objects. Understand? Is why it is known as a temple. Sharira is a temple. That's it. No? You must have heard them people mention there. It is a temple. Why? Because the devata and upadevatas are there incorporated. And puja should be done according to that vidhi, so that dharmam is not deviated. It's a principle of a temple installation. So that one can learn it from there and understand it. That is why it has been provided like that. It's not a small thing. Yes, okay. So, what I am trying to tell you before proceeding further, the Bhagavan Sanat Kumara told Devarshi Narada, hey Narada, even though you might have walked through various paths, fine, no problem, absolutely okay. But you're still looking for answers. Why? Because you are not established yourself in one. You have to establish yourself into one path so that you can understand. If you want me to answer, I will answer. For every question, the jnanis will answer. But is that answer acceptable to you? Depending upon your intelligence, depending upon your activity, depending upon your karma, depending upon your dharma, depending upon your situation, your moods, you will accept it or not accept it. What is the use of the advice? Sanat Kumara says, sorry, I can't do that. He is Bhagavan Sanat Kumara. I don't have time for that. So you have to follow strictly the rules of the dharmam, Sanatana dharmam, in order to attain the discipline. For attainment of the jnanam in you, you have to do the pratishtha of the Guru inside your mind. Decide yourself. It's not a compulsion. But discipline is a compulsion. How you take a discipline, it is not a compulsion. That is depending upon you. Which of this has to be accepted, not accepted, it is up to you. Because everybody has got a freedom, liberation. Everybody has got a right to lead his own life, his own way of living, his own acceptance and non-acceptance, his own path of spirituality to choose is absolutely his freedom, because it is not a forceful matter. It is a transformation, transcendence. When one has to transcend, one has to have that capacity to evaporate. That which is not evaporable, cannot be evaporated. So you have to have that capability of evaporating and merging. So that decision has to be taken only by you. This decision can come. Why? Because jnanam will come only based on the acceptance. Nobody can force. You remember in one of the classes I told you, there are no teachers, teaching cannot be done. Only learning can be done. Why? Because even though Sanat Kumara is a great tapasvi jnani, he knows everything, he's the ultimate. That's why Devrishi has gone there. Yes. But he also says that, my saying, will it make any difference to you? It will not make any difference to you provided you are having different opinion, different status, different thinking, different pratishtha in you, different attitude in you, different methodology in you, different analysis in you, different way of making it, analyzing it, and you have to accept it as a whole, what I am saying. You cannot divide it. Because Satyam is that. It is indivisible. You cannot divide it. Hey, Maharishi, Devrishi Narada, are you ready for it? So he says, so in order to make him understand, I'm just giving you the prelogue of all these meditations, what we are going to do. So the first thing is that, hey Maharishi Narada, Namopasana. What is he trying to do, He's trying to make him experience. Not that, as I told you in the beginning, Sanat Kumara did not say, he was wiser. He did not tell him first, but he wanted to make him experience. So he said, Nama Upasana. Narada, in the Nama you do Upasana. Rigveda, 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 Rigveda. What is this Rigveda? No, he himself will get fed up of it, no? What is Rigveda? Samaveda. Samaveda is also same thing. Rigveda is also same thing. Samaveda is same thing. Atharvana is also same. Then what it is? When he doesn't find what it is, he will come to the next chapter here. Okay? So he said, Namopasana. You have to do pratishtha, whoever it is. You can have hundreds of choices in the beginning. But when, at a point of time, hey, Manava, at one point of time, let it be in Vardhakya, let it be when you are going to Vanaprastha, let it be beginning of the Brahmacharyatva, whenever it is, yes, like Balya, Brahmacharyatva, Kaumaratva, Vardhakya, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. Any of these stages, whenever you decide, freedom is yours. When you want to when you want to begin your path towards spirituality, is up to you. Till you are ready, don't do it. But one thing you should remember, the study says, you should remember you have been born in order to get yourself liberated and born in order to walk in the spiritual path only. That is the purpose of your birth. All others are meant only for experimental experiences, that's all. Objective studies or subjective studies, whatever it is. Immaterial, there's no classification of that. Let it be even subjective studies or let it be objective studies. Both have no meaning. A time when you have decided to take the path of spirituality, the moment you enter into that path, this is my path and I walk. Once you take this decision, once in lifetime you have to take. And from that time onwards, you are on the path of liberation. That's all. So long you are on the path of execution. Once the execution is finished, then you are path on the liberation. For that, in execution, there are hundreds of paths. In order to execute your karma, there are hundreds of paths. Choose. No problem. Up to you. Depending upon your jnanam, your experience, your karma phala, keep on doing it. But, hey Devrishi, hey Maharishi, at a point of time in your life, you have to decide that this is the path I am going to take and this is the jnana murti whom I am going to do the pratishtha in me. This decision has to be taken. Till then you can keep on roaming here and there, no problem. You will not achieve anything. Or if you achieve anything, take it. It will not be useful for the path of the liberation. The day you step into the path of the liberation, the day you put your first step and second step in your path of spirituality, all other experiences have to be renounced. So, hey Manava, gain whatever you want to gain, if you think it's a gain. Now I'll tell you, even though I have told you this incident, connecting to the circumstances when I tell you, it will have different importance. Ravana, till the death of he did not choose his path. When he was almost dying, or last moment of death only, he realized it is Sri Vishnu only. Hey, what did I do all this? I know it is for my liberation I have done. But how much of atrocities was it necessary? All these years, with all the knowledge, with all the wealth, with all the health, with all the muscle power, with all the strength, with all the what not? Terror for Janmas. Ravana. He realized when he did the path, I'm just telling an example, at the time of death. Fine. That is also fine. Yeah. When did Prahlada took the path? Before he is born. That's why I said this importance, unless we put in the right perspective. He decided his path in the Brunam himself, in the womb himself. He said, I am going to take this path. Hey Devrishi, you are my Guru. Established in him. The whole universe after that is nothing to him. A person who has invoked Narasimha. He took the path sitting in the womb, who did not have any experience. Let me say, who did not have the experience as we say, education or qualification or experience or living or eating or sleeping, nothing. None of these experiences. But he decided then. So from the time he chosen a path, what happened? He stuck to it. He chosen a path. So the living was only in spirituality. His living was in spirituality. Was not for himself, was for others. Was for the purpose of his father and for others to get liberated from that. Whereas Ravana, till the end, even Bhagavan Shiva told him that Shraddha and Bhakti, there's a big chapter in Shiva Purana explaining the Bhakti and Shraddha to Ravana. Hey Ravana, you are misinterpreting you must have seen that in that serial also, no? Mahadev. Bhagavan explaining to Ravana, hey Ravana, your concept of bhakti is totally different. It is not bhakti. This is what I said. Dharmam should be compatible, complementary to Sanatana Dharma. Bhakti should be bhakti. It cannot have a different meaning for that. Now, his bhakti was possessing Bhagavan. Possessing Bhagavan. Now, representation. When I tell you all this, so you will remember those scenes and then you can connect it. What does it mean? Purana is not just like that. They are all Upanishadic. They are all Vedic science. Pure science. What he said, Ravana requested that, hey Bhagavan, you come with me. I will look after you, is his concept. Is it not? I am putting words to that. Play of words. Is it not that? When possessing means what? I will look after you. You come with me. Is what he said, Bhagavan. But what was it? Bhakti. Except him, he was not doing any puja to anybody. He was not concentrating on anyone. Was very true. Ananya bhakti. But it was a sakama bhakti. It was ananya bhakti, but was a sakama bhakti. So Bhagavan explained to him, hey Ravana, this is not the bhakti. This you are only doing the possession. You see, it's not right. Bhakti is that what comes out from you, not what you receive from that others. What is to be given is bhakti, that emotion that comes out of you. That is for the giving out is bhakti. Giving out is everything. You see, giving out is everything. So that what you are supposed to receive, you will receive. You don't have to ask whether I will come. If had you not asked for me, I would have come and stayed with you for some time as a guest. But what happened? His bhakti, what he thought? Ravana, having all the knowledge in him, he thought that my bhakti is absolutely perfect. And what I am thinking is right. I want to own Bhagavan Shiv. I have to take you with me to Lanka. You have to stay there only, not in Kailasa. Was his, Pauranically, externally expressing the words is that I want to own you. That means possession. What was his concept of bhakti? Even though he thought his concept is great and unparalleled and absolutely dharmam is that. But he was doing an absolute adharmam, is it not? We are also thinking like that many times. We think it is dharmam, but we do absolute adharmam. Then what happened? Ishvara is Ishvara. To make him still understand, he said, you do the pratishtha of me, automatically I will be with you. To represent that, have you noticed it? Now you should remember. To represent that in physically to make people understand what he did, he created a Shivalinga out of his prana pratishtha, he said. My prana, I am giving it to you. It's as a prana pratishtha. What does it mean? Prana pratishtha, he said. I am giving it to you. Doesn't mean actually physically he is giving a Shivalinga to him. The meaning is that you do the pratishtha of your Aradhya, your Guru, because he considers him as a Guru. Your Aradhya, your Guru, in you do the pratishtha is the meaning of giving it. And when he is giving it, what he said? Do not keep it anywhere down, keep it only with you. That means when you do the pratishtha in you, it is not meant for frequently changing. No, I don't like you for some time. For some time, let us keep the pratishtha aside in the almirah. Put another pratishtha. Whenever I get fed up of this, I will change it. Whenever, like we keep these things. Or give it for polishing. Shivalinga has become dirty, so give it for polishing. So Bhagavan said, see, have you marked it? Even though jokingly said, could you get the idea of that? No, they are only an expression of those principles that when he has given, Bhagavan has given the Shivalinga to him, he said, this is my prana pratishtha. So don't keep it down only with you always. That means pratishtha has to be established. It cannot be given away. That means you have to take that path. Once you do that, then your mukti is done. But what happened? A man who did not know, who did not have a stability in him, who did not have jnanam in him, who did not have a ekagrata in him, ekagra chitta in him, sthita prajna in him. When he did not have a sthita prajna in him, what he has done? He kept it, whatever may be the excuse. We may call it as a Devas played a trick and all that. The trick will be there. Whenever you do the pratishtha, there will be a trick. Why? Who is the others who is Others means your own indriyas, upadevadas. Your own indriyas, your own mana, your own desires, your own things will have a contradictory suggestions. Hey, before establishing, think once again. Otherwise, no, it is cemented and kept it. You cannot change it. So before doing it, temporarily fix it and try sometimes. So whenever necessary, you can, with that two-sided tape. What is it? Adhesive. Two-sided adhesive tape. Fine. So these are, even though jokingly explained, could you get the wonderful principle of Bhagavan Shiva giving the Shivalinga as Prana Pratishtha to Ravana, whom he thought he is a great bhakta. He has got qualities. He is a great bhakta. If he has been given an opportunity to establish himself towards the Lord, but he did not do it. So the Sanat Kumara, is it enough examples for giving you the importance of the Pratishtha? Whichever Pratishtha, whatever it is, material. Once you have to take it, what he says that you have to take a decision. You take a decision. No compulsion. Sanat Kumara did not, even though Sanat Kumara is also considered to be Brahmaputra, Narada is also supposed to be Brahmaputra, thinking in that physical relation when we, in our language, they are brothers, actually. Even though being brothers, he saw Narada is having sorrows and have no peace. Sanat Kumara, I am the elder brother, I know everything. So let me call Narada. Hey Narada, come here. There are two more things you have to know. You come and learn from me. Huh? He did not say that, no? No, it's not possible. First of all, the discipline of spirituality doesn't recommend any advices without seeking for it. Discipline of spirituality. Second is that the receiver has to accept him as a guru and has to do the pratishtha, then only it is possible. So now you may ask that how will have initial learnings and all that? Do we have to do the pratishtha? How did he do the learning of all the other Vedas, others and things like that, and how it comes to this? That's right. This is why I already answered you this question. Up to class 10, you have to study all subjects. Once you decide which subject to be taken, take only that PhD in that digging well to put others inside. Okay, subject. Okay, decided. Okay. Once you have decided that subject, you will walk only on that path and do the pratishtha of that. That's all. This answer has been given. So initially, even though you have studied, you have made everything, at a point of time, when the maturity has come, like Raja has decided, from today I am going for Vanaprastha. From tomorrow morning, good night to everybody in the evening, because tomorrow morning there is no time for me to wake you up and say goodbye. That will be a waste of time, and also it will be a problem for me. So before sleeping, say good night. Everybody has run away from the house, only people are when sleeping. Buddha has run away when others are sleeping. No, Rajas have just said, everybody ran away only during the sleep. Because morning, what happened, these ganas are creating problem, They will create an attachment immediately. That's a big problem. So better not to get attracted to. So in order to create detachment. Anyway, it is my version, so don't quote that Buddha ran away. In my language I say that. He ran away from the house. हम लोग भी बोलते हैं ना तो क्या भाग के शादी किया. So, भाग के संन्यास लिया. Why not? Something like that. Okay. Well, jokingly said. So you have to decide at one point. So he had decided Vanaprastha, and he goes in the morning, just straight away getting up in the morning, simple clothes, simple thing, no shoes, no chappals, and no food packed, as I told you. I think last time I said that is, and just walked. That's all. Nobody knows where he has gone. Things like that. So he has taken a decision, you see. This is the time. Now no more Raja. I am no more king. I don't want it. That's all. Pronounced. Next day morning he walked off. That's all. He will not stay. After taking a decision, next day he will not stay. Oh, let me continue as an advisor for some time now. Keep me for an extension of 2 years. Don't give me salary, give me only allowance. In advisory, no, nothing happens. He goes away. So, in our life, let us not ask for extension in life. Let us ask for, pray to the Lord, give me the strength and jnanam, buddhi, hey Bhagwan. At a point of time, give me that sthita prajna, somewhere to anchor myself. Tired of going from here to here, there to there, here to here, him to whom to whom to him. Tired of it, hey Bhagwan. Anchor me. Give me that strength. Give me at a place, one place, who will take me to you. Or you. It is he only. When you do the pratishtha, it is Brahman only getting pratishtha in you. Don't have a doubt in your mind. When you do the pratishtha of that ultimate Guru who will take you to the Brahman, he is none other than the Brahman. Because you have considered him as Brahman. I'll tell you what is the principle behind it. Let me see. You can argue with me. How can it be? I will pratishtha you. Are you a Brahman or what? You can ask. No. When you ask like that, no. But when you are seeing Rishi Pippalada in class 1, chapter 1, he was Rishi Pippalada. In chapter 6, he is Brahman to the student. He is the same. How he has become the Brahman? You are doing a pratishtha of your Guru in the nature of Brahman. Brahma pratishtha, that's all. When it is you who has told that this is Brahman, there is nothing above that. When something above that only will conquer that, no, will not. That is the biggest, that which you can cross. So you consider it as a Brahma pratishtha and do the pratishtha, that is Brahman. So automatically what happens? That pratishtha, that rupa will automatically change it to Brahman only. Or that rupa is Brahman only. That rupa is necessary because in our mind we have got two sections. Only for convenience it has been divided. One is known as a lower mind, another is known as a higher mind, which is a lower consciousness and higher consciousness. Lower consciousness is connected with the materialistic worldly activities, logical discriminations, and the higher mind is beyond the logics, which is the truth. So in logical mind, you are doing the establishing in the logical mind. So you should have a cause. The cause is always greater than the effect. The cause is always greater than the effect. So what happened? The cause of establishing pratishtha is Brahman, Brahma Sakshatkaram. So it is above the effect that what you have. Is it not? Right? Effect in the sense that if you logically contradicting to that, is it right that you are establishing this rupa as the Brahman? That's a logical question. There is no place for that. In the higher mind or in the higher consciousness, this has no place for it, first of all. Because it is in a higher mind there is only truth functions. Higher consciousness, only truth functions. In lower consciousness, lot of discrimination takes place. They are all bifurcations of applicability there. But whereas in the higher consciousness, there is no applicability, there is only truth. Yeah? Am I clear? Is it okay? That is why this pratishtha has to be. You take your time. Bhagavan doesn't say when you should do it. No. That is why he is telling him, taking him through this path. Now, I have just told you beforehand so that you don't get confused while I am going through. Hey, what is this? Yesterday he said that this Namopasana, and today he is telling about the Vakyopasana. Day after tomorrow I am telling about the Manopasana. Then Chittopasana. Ready? It goes on like that. So you should not get confused. Is why I am giving you this clarification so that before it gets confused, I want you to establish it. The other is only for information. Am I clear? I think that should be good enough for clarification of the verse that has been told to him, hey, Namo Upasana. The Upasana should be done on that. This is meant for that. That means the Nama should vanish. Upasana. In the Upasana, the Upasak and the subject of Upasana should be vanished, and only the Upasana Murti remains. Upasana Murti remains. Layam to Upasana Murti. When it is Murti in the sense, Murtam, representation of all. So, layam to that. Not layam to a particular akara, vikara, a jnana, a knowledge, a learning, an experience, or this and that. Then you will keep on getting lost, that's all. Now you don't know where to go. This is what the mistake a normal human being do, because he doesn't know which way to go, how to get this grip of it. So he is running from pillar to post, where to get myself associated to. Now, according to, as I told you, based on your karmas, based on your experience, and based on your determination, sthita prajna, determination. First of all, you should have a determination. Enough is enough. Now, I walk on my spiritual path. Decide. Once decided, now next, which pratishtha I should do. Decide. Once decided, now I told you the story. Why did I say that? Bhagavan Shiva handing over prana pratishtha. It should be a prana pratishtha. Just follow. You will automatically get it. Brahman will be established in you, is what the great noble men have always told. Okay. So I told in the last class, I was continuing the last class, I thought I have not finished it completely, so this was necessary to support that. Then only it is more or less, I won't say complete, more or less complete for time being. Is it okay? Are you happy? Yes. Should be, if you are not happy also. Well, as Bhagavan said, happiness cannot be given. Now, so second is that, I said, in the materialistic world, how it looks like, that's what I said, I will explain it. In Bhautika Jnanam, when I look at establishing a pratishtha, I said, in the Bhautika Jnana, when I look at it, it is known as an objective science. Is it not? It is an object. It's an objective study. This is what we say. External objects. We're studying in the external objects. When there is dvandvam, even though when you are establishing the Brahman in you, it is dvandvam only. But once you start tapasya and the jnanam being circulated from him and into him. I'm saying him just to address like that. There is no gender on that actually. Bhagwan has no gender. But generally the text says him only. Ata, iti, tam, twa. So many words are used for him. Tat, tvam asi, tvam asi. Tvam is also he, asi is also he. Which one is he? Don't know. Okay. So we will just address, since there is no word known to us, we will address him as him. What did I say? When we establish him, it is Dvandvam only. He is there, I am there. Dvandvam only. That doesn't matter. Let there be Dvandvam. Dvandvam should be to that extent that there is only two, which ultimately going to be one. To that extent it's okay. So here in subject also, when I say subjective perception, we have subjective studies. The principle of subjective studies in that matter, what happens. Here also when you look at it, as I told you, there is nothing called Bhautika and Adhyatmika separate. They are all one only. Even the Bhautika is also Adhyatmika only. So even the objective study is also the Adhyatma only. Subjective study is also Adhyatma. Okay? To establish that, we are going into these details so that we should understand. An objective study, let us understand we are learning, studying the object, the Brahman as the object, let us say. Okay? We are studying that. Now in the objective studies, what is the principle of objective studies? You have to know about everything about the object. It's called objective study. How many in this universe are doing the right objective study? How many in this world, universe, doing the objective study? Except tapasvis and jnanis, nobody. We all say that they are tapasvis. For as far as they are concerned, there is nothing called external to them. There is no object for them. Absolutely right. Because they have understood the object, so there is no object for them. Jnanam is that. I told you about the halahala visha as object again. I have given you all enough examples earlier also, connected with this. Bhagavan himself is that, so the Visha is not separate from it. So when an object, first of all, explanation one, when this is called an objective study, when I do an objective study, am I really doing an objective study today? I mean, normally common people, are they doing an objective study? No. They are doing only a subjective study. How? When you look at an object, how you do it? You analyze according to your emotions, your choice, your taste, your education, your capacity, is it not? Oh, his appearance itself I don't like. Decided, no? Appearance itself I don't like. First impression is the best impression and all. We have told so many. We are not less in any of those things. No, masters. Where has it been impressed? In your ego. Is it not? Where has it been impressed? Only in your ego? If it was the best impression at one point of time, after some time how it becomes the most worst impression? Hey, how did I choose that? I should have known. Acha, forget about that. Let me assume one is a great bhakta, goes to the temple. Go and pray to the deity after the arati over. All the lights are there. Beautiful alankara is done. Sugandha is there. Prasada is there. Chandanam is there. Everything is there. Nice. Huh? After looking, when you are praying to the Bhagwan, whom are you praying? Actually, you are praying to, if you are praying for your relief of your disease, you are praying to the doctor Ishvara. If it is for Kashta Nivarana, Dukkha Nivarana, Savior with two wings, Dukkha Nivarana, Kashta Nivarana, what's that? बनारस में संकट मोचन. Why Bhagavan has two wings, you know? But he can any time fly away from you. Because so that he gets sankat mochan. Otherwise your sankata is never ending, no? Day after day you go to him and do sankata mochan. He runs away, that's all. No. Even 1 year, 10 years, continuously I went to sankata mochan, my sankata remains same. What happens? Even though jokingly expressed about it, my purpose of telling you this is that to have that establishing the truth in you, that when we are doing an objective study, we are doing a subjective study only. That means, depending upon your choice only, you are analyzing the object. You look at Bhagavan Krishna, as I told you some time back in one of the classes, somebody looks at him as Laddu Gopal, somebody looks at him as Makhan Gopal, the one who is stealing Makhan Chor. Chor bhi bulaya unko. What all, what not. But normally when Chor said, you be considered as Gali, but to Bhagwan, everything is accepted because I have told that. So with Bhakti I have told. You are a Chor. It's permissible, no? See? That means with Bhakti you can say you are Chor. Without Bhakti, when you say Chor, it is different. With Bhakti, Chor is different. Where is objective? Where is subjective? Where is objective study? I hope you understood why, and I'm trying to figure out this, you see, to make you understand that we are not doing an objective study is what I'm saying. If you are doing an objective study, you should be that object and study. Then it is objective study. But I always do an objective study based on my perception, my capacity, my education level, my emotion, my circumstances, situation, my labha nashta, my benefit. What is the use of explaining about him like that? Glories of him. So, you understand what I said? So if I do an objective study, becoming an object, then only you can study the object properly. Am I right or wrong? You have to know the object completely so that you have to become the object, then only you can completely know the object. Otherwise you are externally assuming that this is the object, is it? So I told you, in the spirituality, establish Brahman or Guru, and in logically when you asked, it is Dvandvam. Why? Because it's a subjective study you have done that I am establishing the Brahman. Suppose you do, as I told you just now, you become the object and do establishment, then what happens? So the Bhautika is Adhyatma. You become the Brahman and establish Brahman. Whom are you establishing? You become the subject. You become the object. That's why I said there's nothing called subject and object. Whether it is subjective or whether it is objective study, it is all subjective study you are making. Likes and dislikes. Otherwise so many fashions and so many designs and so many things, so many words, so many expressions, so many things in this world would not have been there. Why? Because we have varied subjective studies depending upon our own emotion. We are not looking at the object as object, we are looking at the object through the subject. You are looking at the object but through the subject. This chashma ka frame is very nice for me. You decided. Fixed it. He has got one mirror like that on the table. She will show you. That fellow who is the optician. Yeah, this is good. Very nice. 2-3 times looked here, left and right. Sometimes you see, sometimes you don't see because the power is different. Because it haze, everything looks beautiful. You know. Hazy. It is so, oh, I'm looking very nice. Handsome. चलो यही फ्रेम ठीक है, यही ग्लास ठीक है. Subjective study. Everything we do is a subjective. Okay, some light moments. It's also necessary, but again, through studies. So what I try that, when we are at Bhagavan, or when we are establishing, when we are doing the pratishtha, he is our Ishta actually. Whom I am doing the pratishtha? My Ishta. No. My Ishta means myself. Bhagavan and me is not different. My pratishtha and me is not different. I am doing the pratishtha of me inside actually. So this is given a rupa so that my attention is diverted from me, because the me whom I know, the me, very important. Even though I am telling it is I am doing the pratishtha of me, Brahman is me, Aham Brahmasmi, Brahman is me. But even though I do that, but as far as I am concerned, the me, the I whom I call as I, who is an egoistic I, who has got lot of gunas and agunas. I am not establishing that I there, but I am establishing the I, the Brahman there. That is why a Dvandvada has been created here by great noblemen. So the establishment is done. Even though it is a reflection of me, it is me, but it is Brahman without the qualities, disqualifying my qualities there. Is the Brahman. Is why I have to look at it in the beginning stages as a lower consciousness. We have to look at it as a higher degree of me, who is the Brahman, who is a Guru, who is a Jnani, who is a Jnanam. So that's why you are establishing him. Who is establishing whom? The lower mind is establishing the higher mind. The lower consciousness is establishing the higher consciousness. So when the lower mind is establishing the higher consciousness, or pratishtito bhava, we said. Avahito bhava, the term in the mantras, they say pratishtito bhava, avahito bhava, not that I am doing the avahana, I am doing the pratishtha. No. In the mantras they say avahito bhava, please appear here. Pratishtito bhava, let it be established. Understood what I am trying to tell you? Pratishtito bhava. Who is telling that? The lower mind is telling pratishtito bhava. When pratishtito bhavati, that means when it happens, the lower mind is gone. That's why pratishtito bhava is telling. When he says, I am doing the pratishtha, the lower mind says, I do the pratishtha. After pratishtha also, the I and you, the pratishtha, should be there. But he says, pratishtito bhava. So when I am doing the pratishtha of my guru, my tapasvi, my jnani, my embodiment of the jnanam, Bhagavan, in my mind, hey Bhagavan, hey Brahman, hey Guru, hey tapasvi, hey jnani, hey jnanamurte, pratishtito bhava. The moment it is done, you have aligned with him. The whole jnanam goes through you and that one. Not that through him, it is actually through this. So the nama rupa, vichara, vikara, everything vanishes. This is how the tapasya should be done. That's why the pratishtha is absolutely necessary. So is why the objective study. So when the objective study is done, we have to master it not by excluding it or disregarding it, and by having a thorough knowledge of it. In the lower mind, we have got all emotions, identities, identifications, including bondage we have. Attachment, attraction, desire, bondage we have. Everything has to be understood. Not that, as I always said, that renunciation is not running away from that, rejecting it. No. Renunciation is dissolving it in you. That dissolving means you are accepting it, understandingly receiving it. Not that, oh, I don't like it, I'll cut it out and remove it. No. Nothing can be cut and removed from us. That is ours only. It is us. It has to be dissolved into the higher consciousness or the gunas in us, the greatness in us. The ungratefulness should be dissolved into gratefulness. The ashraddha should be dissolved into shraddha. The has to be removed. No? Bhakti, again the same thing, has to be dissolved into. So he says that there are a lot of things. So we have to become the master of it, he says. Maharishi says, we have to become the master of it. Master of whom? Master of all these ganas who are opposing me, who are resisting me to establish the Brahman in me, who are resisting me to establish my Guru in me. He will immediately show, oh, that one is nice. You see, there you have got, so and so facilities. Here you have got like many of the religions are converting people into their religion, paying money, giving medicines, giving them clothes, giving them facilities, giving them attraction. Bhautika jnanam, absolutely bhautika jnanam, bhautika material giving. How can they buy their concept of the mind and the thought and the spirituality? Can you buy it with the clothes and this one? The man who sells it, the man who buys, both of them are fools, because nobody can transact this. You cannot sell it and you cannot buy it. You see, it's absolutely wrong. If somebody is saying that, oh, I bought him by giving clothes, I converted him, yes. The conversion can be done only for the physical body. That is not what we want. Here, that's called the lower consciousness. The lower consciousness always thinks that my ego, my mind, my sharira is I. So always he gets attracted to that which is being provided for the facility of improvement of the sharira, mana and the ego. And he thinks that is the aham, that is the Brahman, that is the Satyam. So what happens? An ajnani will wander from here to there for jnanam. At the same time, a jnani will sit at one place and do the sthita prajna, establish the whole world will be his. And you travel all over the world also, the world will not be yours. The same example has been again given in Shiva Purana when asked both the sons. Vinayaka went round Shiva and Parvati 3 times. I said, I have already gone round the world 3 times. Kartikeya, with all the might and training he has, he started flying all over the world and came back afterwards. Even then, the world is not his. Is it his world? But Vinayak said, the world is mine. Yes. You understood? So when you lower mind, see everywhere the examples are there. It is the same thing. Lower mind establishing that. So a man who has got the Sthita Prajna, who has decided, determined, have focused on one and focused on that jnanam, focused on that guru, focused on that Brahman, and established that pratisthito bhava, and did sat on that ghats of Ganga, sat there, and then pratisthito bhava, sat down, the whole Brahmanda becomes his. He need not to travel anywhere. Sarva devatas, sarva dishas, everything he can be own himself is that. That's called the bondage also. Their bondage will obstruct you. When you start doing this, the bondage will obstruct you, showing, oh, he is giving this attraction, he is giving that attraction, Christian, so-and-so is giving money and medicines, so-and-so is giving me something else, a ship to sink along with. Huh? All these thoughts will come. They are all bandhana. Because we are experienced with bandhana. What does he mean by that is that whenever you have to cross from the lower consciousness to higher consciousness, whenever you go from the lower knowledge to the higher knowledge, you have to renounce from the existing experiences, because they are all meant for executing your karmas in different ways. You have created bandhana to them. Those shrinkalas, those links have to be broken, disconnected. Then only you will be in a position to do that. So he says, the knowledge also is inclusive of the bondage. Even bondage has to be known in its true structure. Not that avoiding bondage and saying that, oh, I am untouchable. No. You are touchable, but you don't touch anybody. Should be the principle. That means, knowingly, I have explained this in a different way in different places, knowingly you have to renounce. Otherwise it's not known as renunciation. It will be a resistance otherwise. There will be avoiding. No. You should know the truth and then avoid. Then only it is known as the renunciation. So he says, the knowledge is causative factors. Knowledge is causative factors behind bondage. The bondage is knowledge of cause of the knowledge. Cause of the bondage has to be known through knowledge, causative knowledge. Has to be understood, so that when you will realize the cause is greater than the effect will be known. Once you know that, then the bhautika adhyatmika division will be removed. Lower mind and higher mind division will be removed. Bandhana, abandhana will be removed. Everything becomes, there is no name. When bandhana becomes everything, there is no name for bandhana. When bandhana and shatruta is there, when detachment is there, then only the bandhana is there. So when you really know it, then it gets dissolved. When you know it, it gets dissolved. When you know Brahman, you get dissolved into Brahman. When you know bandhana, bandhana gets removed. When you know the truth, then the asatya gets removed, like that. So you should know it. So this knowing process is called the lower mind. In that lower mind, through sthita prajna, you have to conquer the lower mind. Conquering in the sense, you have to dissolve the lower mind into the higher mind which is inside. For that, again, as I told you, you should have sthita prajna, you should have grace. You remember I have told you about grace?
Grace and guidance.
You should have faith. These are required. Then, done in fraction of a second. That's all. The happening is just a fraction of a second. Only this preparation only takes time. That's all. Yes. Am I right or wrong? You may not believe it. tell me how much time it takes for the rice to completely cook. Just your perception. I put half a kilo of rice for cooking. Approximately, how much time will it take to cook? Please. I know this is a tricky question. Otherwise, I would not ask. That too, I will not ask you. Who knows better? When I am asking this, you know that it is tricky. How much time it takes to cook? What do you think?
That last fraction of a second. 1 second.
That's right. This is what I expected from you. This is what you should know. That's why I asked this particular question. Actually, to cook, completely cook, the last second, more fraction of a second, is the one which it takes to cook. Till then, even if you have spent 2 hours, it has not cooked. Alright? You got the answer? What is this? Dissolving? How it is done? See, it's a common thing, that's why I said immediately. Now, you see, you yourself, you knew it. You got it immediately, even though I said that this is what we want. This is exactly what it is. How did you know? Even though you had been doing it, we had never thought of it. Never knew this. Now only you know it. You might be having an idea of it, but you never thought of it, is it not? Same way, what happens from the lower brain establishment when it is taking place, it automatically, what happened? That ajnana, what was there for the half an hour of cooking, has cooked in 1 second, finished. Same way, the ajnana, that whatever you had in the experience, just vanished in a fraction of a second when you knew about it. That's all. There, the jnanam is important. It's why converting yourself, for that what necessary? What is necessary? Pratishtito bhava. Unless the agni is there, it doesn't boil, it doesn't cook. You may have any paraphernalias, very expensive pressure, unpressured cooker, or latest cooking range, expert, who comes in that?
Master
Chef. A master chef. Expensive basmati rice, filtered aquaguard water, modern kitchen, facility to sit while it is being cooked and eat some nuts. All facilities are there. Will it cook? Agni has to be there. Whether it is in the out roadside or inside this kitchen, or what I explained, the kitchen, both, if there is Agni, nothing else. No? All of that. Agni has to be the same way. In us, that pratishtha has to be there. Then only the cooking can be done. The jnanam can be derived. So, Vishwasa, faith.
Grace.
Grace. Pratishtha. So Bhagavan says, the causative factors of all this necessary, of this knowledge of various things, hey Maharshe, this is what it is. So, therefore, Namopasaya or Namopasya. Namopasya, Nama Upasana. So it's only a method. You understood now the meaning of it. So not only then doing tapasya in the Nama, the purpose of telling that Namopasya is this. So now this will be the general introduction for all further tapasya. So I need not to explain the same thing again and again. This is applicable. Only the subject will be different. Here it is Namopasana. After Namopasana, Bhagavan said, Having done that, it is time now, so we will take section 2 next class. With this, section 1 is over. That means 7, 1, 4 is completed. Now we will go to 7, 2, 1. Om Shanti.